This is our almost 30 years long relationships. I met with him in 1979 when I was a student. I was a student in 9th standard, and few of his students were doing field work in my area, and I provided support to them in data collection and all. But later on, he motivated me, and I joined the university department as a student in Masters, MPhil and PhD as well. And that is how from 1979 it is 2009. Few things which I learned many things from him, but few things which I learned and still I apply on myself, on my fellow learners and on my students. The first thing is that we had a seminar that was known as Friday seminar, and in that seminar all the students and teachers, they used to be present, and either the students or the teacher, they were presenting seminar. So on every Friday we had 2 seminars, and in a semester we had almost 48 seminars. And everyone was given 3 marks, the presenter as well as the listeners, depending on the how the listener has basically asked the questions and how the presenter has replied the questions. So that is the question answer, learning through question answer is very important. That is what I learned from him. And we are applying the same in PGDM and MBA student classes, that we are encouraging our students to ask questions. Second thing about the tradition of the seminar, that is the role of the presenter, discussant, reporter and observer. I learned from him, and we apply here in our school. It started from the first seminar given by Dr. Roy. In the last 18 months, we have presented, the faculty members have presented 14 seminars. And out of these 14 seminars, almost every seminar paper has been either presented in the national or international conference, or it has been published in the national and international journal. Second thing, he gave a very intensive training of the research methodology, and we had 2 special papers. One was the logic and philosophy in social sciences, and other was the explanation in social sciences. At that time, we were not liking that, because there were a lot of mathematics involved and a lot of logic and interpretation was involved in that. And we were saying that everybody in other department, nothing of such type of practice is going on. But here Professor Chauhan has loaded us with so many of the readings and all. But that is how he provided training to us of the research methodology. And then every semester has to be coupled with the field study and one theoretical study. And in all 2 years, all the students have to complete 4 field-based projects and 4 theoretical projects. And the same became the roadmap for the MPhil and PhD. So these are the few things I just wanted to express through these few words. I wanted to express my gratitude for Professor Chauhan, and we hope that we would be always learning from him. Last year he was in Govind Ballabh Social Science Institute, and all of a sudden he fell sick, and we all were worried, and doctors told that now he should stop his traveling and he should just stay in the house. But he said to the doctor, "Are you mad? I cannot stay in the house." And he continued traveling in the rural areas and villages. And this is his recent publication, which will be coming out from the publisher in another 15 days. So within a year he did this project. And now he is asking me to prepare a 3 years plan of the further studies. Tomorrow he is insisting that he will be going to a village near Devas. So that is the type of the commitment he has shown throughout of his life. And in fact, that was the time in early 1950s he has the opportunity to teach in the United States as well as in Europe. But he chosen to stay back in India and then provide the support in the nation building. Thank you very much. Thanks.
participate in a seminar on myself, but I consider it a pleasant experience that a lot of things about me are already known to the people here, and in that sense, let us come to the way in which we try to understand rural societies and how I have been trying to understand them, and that will also form a part of the exposure that you would like to know from me. On many occasions, when I have gone to address gatherings, members of the audience have insisted that I talk more about my experiences rather than what I have read about other people. Partly, I will combine both and give greater importance to the expectations of the listeners who want to know more about what I have been doing and what I have been thinking and saying myself. Among the teachers who have influence on one's thoughts and ways of doing things, there have been some mention of 3 persons, and then there are some teachers who enter life indirectly, not through the classroom, but otherwise either through some seminars or through their writings or through some personal interventions. In that category, some in India are important, and I consider, I.P. Desai of Surat as an important person so far as my life is concerned, because he carried influence of other 3 great persons on him. That's one thing. But the second thing was that he was one of the persons who was most confident about his scholarship and confident about being a scholar in India, not bothered by or overawed by writings of foreign writers. And he always insisted that we should talk about what we think. So in one of the UGC lectures, he was present and said very quietly, as if nothing was there, but then after the lecture he said, yes, I have heard the best talk on your kind given by an Indian scholar. Now that was something great as a contribution, but the point is that I am coming to this. He raised a question in the end and said, what did I think about it? I said, this would require me to read a little more and answer the question. Then he said, no, I want your opinion and not opinion of others. That's how we have been trying to train ourselves in the process. I have some influence of the other variety. We keep on learning throughout life, and there have been, when I wrote the first research article and sent a note on it to be published from America, the note came back to me saying that they needed some more information. At that time I was a young research scholar, not, well, my PhD work was not even complete. But we began interacting. And they returned the paper saying that some information in a certain other format was needed. I was happy that my things were crossing the globe twice to be able to do this. And when people talk of globalization, well, this is what is meant by globalization. That your ideas travel around the globe more than once. That should be the meaning. Well, they said that many of the things that I had written were written from the point of view of the audience in India, and they wanted to convert it into a meaningful paper which could be understood by the audience elsewhere also and outside India, that means in the United States at that time. I realized that, for example, some measurements in rupees and yards and all that, one said chatak and things like this, well, they had to be more universal in that sense, and things happened that way. But what I realized was that yes, one has to take care of the audience that one is dealing with while writing or talking elsewhere. There has been some influence of a great sociologist in my thinking, that is from the University of California, Professor Kingsley Davis was teaching us. Now, that influence relates to something that I can share with you. He said he wanted to answer a question: when are communities called urban? And where do we put the population distribution between the rural and the urban? And the cutting point, as these people say. And then he surveyed all the definitions of urban all over the world. Put the figure at 20,000 at the cutting point. And having taken that decision, the rest was a question of implementation. So he set up a very small group of people, International Urban Population Center. He made the calculators. So he made calculators for all the countries of the world by going through their census reports. And then published a paper on urbanization in the world. And then this thing got accepted as a reference point for all further analysis of the question by the United Nations. But what I am trying to suggest is two things. Number one, while dealing with macro data, it is not necessary to keep on reporting the data all the time. But sometimes it is necessary to reclassify the data and give them a new meaning. And then pursue it throughout. And then its implications. So he did it for India. India came under that also. So the urbanization was somewhere around 11% in that definition. And then further consequences followed. He said, how do we compare things around the world? And that again, comparing the facts is a dull affair. This won't do. If you say that India has 11% and Japan has 40% or whatever it is, then you discuss trends of urbanization in India and Japan. If a comparison has to be made between India and Japan, it has to be made for the years on which their data were compared. That is, when Japan was 11% urban and when India is 11%, the two situations are comparable. And not the present differences. This is the way in which we tend to give new meanings to ideas. I was wondering all the time, how do ideas occur to the people? And for getting fresh winds, we sometimes visit people who are different from our own experiences. And D.P. Mukherjee, as a teacher in Lucknow University, was a master at this, linking common day experience with highest of academic excellence as well as abstractions. And well, from him I derived a lot of my whatever skills I have. The point is, we keep on learning in every situation, anywhere. So, I was traveling in Naresh in a city bus, and where it was being driven by some drivers, conductors were there. Some conductor asked a person, a passenger, had two words with him, but he prefaced it by saying, Mallaji, you have done this and that. After some time, he met another person, Maulvi sahab, aapne ye kya kiya? You know, something like this. I only got interested in this. What's the difference? How does he differentiate between Mullaji and Maulvi sahab? So, yeah, I was curious about that, to know it. will take some indulgence, and I hope the present teachers will understand and excuse me for making these references. But still it will be enjoyable in the sense that he said Mullaji is one who repeats the text of the book, religious book, he repeats it. Maulvi Sahib is one who explains it. I was wondering since then about this little conversation, and I said, among our teachers, how many are Mullajis? The last thing is that when my youngest son came in contact with some foreign visitors, the boy was studying in Jawaharlal Nehru University, researcher there. And how do researchers grow? That's what I am trying to, because there are many of them here. He read a notice on the notice board that papers are invited for some such conference in Europe. In some, and an abstract is invited. He read that and then he sent his abstract to Europe. After some time, he received information that it had been accepted. He had written a paper on the growth of Spanish literature in India, the teaching of Spanish literature in India. He was learning Spanish. And then his chance came. Then said, your paper has been accepted, then he was very happy. He didn't tell people till then. That was, for certain other reasons. But when his chance came, then of course we all helped him to the extent we could to make his first trip to Europe helpful. Having reached there, he presented his paper, but two things happened. He presented the text of the paper, and he was the only person from India present in that small gathering. So he represented India in a way there. So, if scholars of other countries wanted to know anything about India, he would be consulted. Two of them said, we would be visiting India next time. He said, yes. And then he volunteered himself to arrange for their visit. And one of those visits came to our house also. And take it easy if you are getting. And then these were professors of philosophy. And they had come for some conference in philosophy. But people in literature are usually more comprehensive in their mental outlook than people in other subjects. So they travel a little more easily with other subjects than people in specialized subjects. So, while he was available, we were available. We asked this thing. Then I also contributed to one of the papers to them to a German professor.